this is just a tool, and it helps keep grading consistent. How many of you have felt like this? You're grading for about 20 minutes or an hour or maybe 2 hours, and then you have this feeling that you've shifted and that what you graded an hour ago was graded differently. Rubrics will keep that bad thought out of your head because you will know immediately that you will stay consistent. It's a way of providing feedback. If you have a rubric and when you hand back that paper or assignment and it says you are good here, 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 you are weak here, it really helps that student understand. That's different from handing back a paper that says C- and they don't know why. It will save time. We cut student TA grading time by approximately 20%, particularly for novice graders. The really seasoned graders just help keep them consistent. Equally important is a good rubric. It's a forward investment. And what I mean by that is building good rubrics is not always so easy. But once you have them, you can use them many times and modify them. Or you can do what I do, is find one and adopt it and change it. So you don't always have to start from scratch. There are tens of thousands of rubrics out there for almost any assignment you've dreamed up. When I do this, and when my colleagues do this, this really helps me to improve my teaching. I'm getting clearer transparency of what is expected and what I'm getting back. Also helps me to understand where the class, or individual students, but where the class maybe is weak. In a big class, I often have a dozen TAs, and the necessity for them to send all the same message is really important, both for me personally, but also for the students. And if there's inconsistency here, then what happens is confusion, and that works against everybody.
I put my rubric on the assignment in my syllabus because I feel like a lot of students will look at the syllabus and they'll say, yes, this is clear. I know that I'm going to be able to understand what the professor is doing and what he's asking for. And it also gives the student a chance to look at the rubric over and over again as you're teaching, so that they kind of like assimilate that and it becomes a part of their learning.
As you're building rubrics, simple is better. So lots of rows, very few columns. This is a very complicated rubric. Given that, we simplified it. We simplified it and had only 3 levels. Great, good, needs work. John, what's your tip for the people who are using rubrics?
I think actually you've hit on a lot of things that we found, right? If you make it overly complex, it actually adds confusion. You got to have simple declarative statements. And if you have people grading for you, you tell them, follow the rubric, we'll work out any complaints later on, right? Because that's the other thing, because even if you have a rubric, sometimes students are like, this is graded wrong, and you just have to deal with that on an individual basis after. But if you have a rubric, you've got something you can point to and say, no, listen, this is the way we see it, and this is your grade. Yeah. But part of that is telling the people that are working for you, follow the rubric.